Welcome back to the Growth Lab, everyone. I am Sochata, and I am sitting here in our sun-drenched studio on this beautiful morning in 2026. I am so excited to dive into a topic that has personally changed my life over the last few months.
And I am Mr. Sarowan. It is a pleasure to be here with you today, Sochata. As we look at the landscape of 2026, everything feels so fast, doesn't it? Technology, AI, the pace of work. It is easy to feel like we are falling behind if we aren't making giant leaps every single day.
Exactly. I feel that pressure every time I wake up. I look at my feed and see people launching entire companies or mastering new languages in a weekend. It makes me feel, well, a bit small. That is why I wanted us to talk about the 1% rule today. It feels more human, doesn't it?
It is the most human way to grow. We often forget that nature doesn't jump, it grows cell by cell. The math is staggering, Sochata. If you just get 1% better at something every day, by the end of this year, you will be 37 times better than where you started. Imagine that, 37 times.
When you put it that way, it sounds like magic. But in reality, it's just consistency. Mr. Sarowan, for someone listening who feels overwhelmed by their 2026 goals, where do they even find that first 1%? It feels so abstract when you're staring at a mountain of work.
It starts with the smallest possible unit of action. In 2026, we have all these high-tech tools to help us, but the 1% is usually found in the low-tech moments. It's that extra minute of deep breathing before a meeting, or reading one page of a book before bed instead of scrolling through your holographic interface.
You caught me. I am definitely guilty of the late night scrolling. It's like my brain is looking for a hit of dopamine because I didn't feel productive enough during the day. But that makes me feel worse the next morning. It's a cycle, isn't it?
It is a very common cycle. The 1% rule is actually a cure for that guilt. When you commit to a tiny improvement, you give yourself permission to succeed every single day. You stop chasing the big win and start celebrating the steady win. How did you feel this morning when you did your 5-minute meditation?
Honestly, at first I felt impatient. I kept thinking about my inbox. But around the 3-minute mark, I felt this wave of calm, like I was finally in control of my own attention. By the time I finished, I felt ready. Not rushed, just ready. Was that my 1% for the day?
Precisely. That clarity you gained will ripple into every decision you make today. You'll be 1% more patient with your colleagues, 1% more creative in your problem solving. It compounds, Sochata. By tomorrow, you are building on top of a calmer foundation.
I love that. But let's talk about the hard days. We're halfway through January 2026, and for some, the new year energy is fading. What happens when you have a 0% day? Or worse, a day where you feel like you went backward?
Those days are the most important ones. They are the testing days. When you feel like you failed, the 1% rule says just do one tiny thing to stay in the game. If you can't do a full workout, do one push-up. If you can't write a chapter, write one sentence. The goal isn't the output. The goal is keeping the identity of someone who shows up.
Oh, so it's about the habit of being the person you want to be, rather than just hitting a metric. I think I've been focusing too much on the result and not enough on the rhythm. In 2026, we're so focused on data and metrics, we forget the feeling of the process.
You hit the nail on the head. The feeling is the fuel. If you feel proud of that one push-up, you are more likely to do 2 tomorrow. If you shame yourself for not doing 50, you will do 0 tomorrow. We must be 1% kinder to ourselves as we try to be 1% better.
Kinder to ourselves. That is a lesson I am still learning. Mr. Sarowan, before we wrap up the segment, can you give our listeners a 2026 challenge? Something they can do right now as they listen to us in their cars or through their earbuds?
I would love to. My challenge to you is the 2-minute rule. Whatever goal you have, find a version of it that takes only 2 minutes. Want to learn a new AI coding language? Spend 2 minutes looking at one syntax rule. Want to be more mindful? Spend 2 minutes listening to the sounds around you. Do it right now. Don't wait for a better time.
I'm going to do that right after we finish. 2 minutes of sketching. I used to love drawing, and I've let it slip. Thank you, Mr. Sarowan. This conversation has made the mountain look a lot more like a beautiful path we can just walk, step by step.
It is a beautiful path, Suchata, and you are already further along than you think. To all our listeners, remember, you don't need to change your life today. You just need to change this moment by 1%.
What a perfect note to end on. Thank you for joining us in the Growth Lab. We'll be back tomorrow to help you find your next 1%. Until then, stay curious, stay kind, and keep growing. Goodbye for now.
Goodbye, everyone. Take care of your spirit.